round, please make sure you quote your references correctly and come up with better arguments, because the Greek text is going to refute you and expose you. Even the English itself will refute you. The English is clear. He said to him, not to them. Sarah, can you post Psalm 35:23, please? I'm going to show you the similar language used of Yahweh that was used of Jesus by Thomas. Here, Psalm 35:23, awake and rouse yourself for my vindication, for my cause, my God and my Lord. The Greek translation of the Hebrew Psalm 35 reads, Ho theosmu kai ho kuriasmu. Now, using your illogic, David was speaking nonsense because he referred to Yahweh as my God and my Lord. He should have either just said my God and my God, or my Lord and my Lord. That was the kind of logic you're using. Well, doesn't Lord mean God? Yes, it does. But in specific context, Lord refers to God as being the sovereign owner and ruler. So when David calls Yahweh my God and my Lord, he's saying that Yahweh is God and the sovereign owner of all creation. When Thomas says, my Lord and my God, he says the same thing. The one who owns me, he's my Lord, I'm his slave. And the one who is my God, the one who creates, sustains, and gives life. So John 20:28 backfires against you. And when you're quoting Peter to say that Jesus is the Son of the living God, I don't know how that helps your case. Because to be the Son of God in reference to Christ, as taught in the New Testament, means one who has the nature of God. Just like when Jesus says he's the Son of Man, it means he has the nature of man. So don't attack straw man. I'm going to repeat it again so you don't attack straw man. When Jesus is called the Son of God, it means he has the nature of his Father. Just like when it says Jesus is the Son of Man, it means he has the nature of man. No human father birthed him. He didn't have a man as a father. So Son of Man refers to his humanity, that he's fully human. Son of God refers to him being God in essence and nature. That's what the title Son of God means in reference to Jesus in the New Testament. So answering Christianity, you have another 4 minutes. I want you to also address Matthew 12:6-8, which you did not address. And please, make sure you quote your references correctly, and don't just misquote, and make sure you deal with what the text actually says, not what you think it says. John 20:28, it says, he said to him, not them. Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm going to quote it because I had text and PMs last time, so I started stuttering. I hope no one PMs me and disturbs the text. Now I can quote it good. In Matthew 16, verses 15-20, he saith unto them, but whom ye say that I am? This is Jesus speaking. He saith unto them, but whom ye say that I am? And Simon Peter answered and said, Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Blessed art thou, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood hath not revealed it unto thee, but my Father which is in heaven. And then he goes on to verse 20, Then charged he his disciples that they should tell no man that he was Jesus the Christ, not I'm God or any of that. Now to you think Son of God means he has the nature of God. But there are other people who are called the Son of God. In the Jewish audience which he was speaking to, the Son of God never meant God. The sons of God, people are called the sons of God, and so on. It means servant of God, a person from God. It doesn't mean God or has anything godly as you are with God. It doesn't mean you're God or part of him or any of that. This is your interpretation, not what the Jews thought. The Jews didn't take Son of God meaning God, and neither did his disciples. So here it is. This is the reference, Matthew 16, verses 15-20. But even let's read Matthew 16, verses 13-14. Let's see what the believing masses thought of Jesus. Matthew 16, verses 13-14. When Jesus came into the coasts of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, Whom do the men say that I, the Son of Man, am? He's asking them, who do the people say I am? And they said, Some say thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, others Jeremiah, or one of the prophets. Now note, these people here are definitely believers, because if these weren't believers, they would have said, oh, this man's a blasphemer, something like that. But the response they get is that the people thought he's John the Baptist, he's some other prophet, or he's Elias, some of them. Not a single one of these masses said he is God. None of them. In fact, when you read the New Testament, the first books, when I say New Testament, I mean Luke, John, Matthew, Mark. When you read those, you see that the people considered him a prophet, a great man from God, but they never considered him to be God. And again, Son of God does not mean God, never did. People who were called the Son of God in the Old Testament, does that mean they're all gods? I don't think so. So anyway, here it is again, Matthew 16:15-20. I don't think I really misquoted it that badly. I said his disciples called him the Son of the living God, and Jesus said, I am the Christ. And again, the masses didn't believe he was God. So that's what I want you to address. Why don't the believing masses believe that Jesus is God? For the sake of argument, let's say Thomas was referring to Jesus. Let's say he was referring to Jesus. So what? You have one disciple who thinks he's God, you have another disciple who doesn't think he's God, and you have the masses of believers who don't believe Jesus is God. And if you ask me, I prefer to go with what the true believing Jews thought about Jesus, which is he was a prophet and a great man, and the Son of God, the Messiah, the Christ, rather than the opinion of one man named Thomas. And anyway, I don't believe Thomas was referring to Jesus, my Lord, my God, my Lord referring to Jesus, my God referring to the Father. And just because Jesus didn't correct him, does that mean Jesus is accepting it? Just because Jesus didn't correct him, does it mean he's accepting it? Jesus was probably fed up with them because of their unbelief, and they never understood anything he said, so he probably had enough of them that at least they just believed in Jesus. That was good enough, because if you believe in Jesus, you believe in the one that sent him, and that is the message of Jesus. And the microphone is yours.